Welcome! I will show how to make a rope from linden bast using no more than a simple reel. Linden bast is extracted from the outer bark of the linden tree, and I have another video showing how to do that. Other English names for linden tree is lime tree, bast tree or tilia in Latin. The reel is very simple to build, and I have also a small iron hook on one of the arms, but otherwise I would just use the arm itself as a hook. First I will spin the pieces of fiber into a string. I fasten a couple of pieces around the hook and start turning. It's best to have the fibers pointing to one side when spinning instead of in a straight line. The result will be neater and you have control of which fibers will be on the outside of the string. When adding more fibers, you insert them among the fibers to the left in the bundle, as these fibers will be in the middle of the string, where the ends of the fibers will be protected, as the fibers to the right will form the outer layers. It's important to also protect the fiber ends as they run short. So if they are in the right side of the bundle, they have to be folded to be moved further to the left so other fibers will coil over them as protection. Continuously stop to make sure that everything is lying neatly and add more fibers as you feel that the string is getting thinner. Wind the string onto the reel as it is getting longer. When taking a break, I use a twig that is split as a clamp around the string, which I then lodge somehow onto the reel. Now it's just to put your head down and spin as much as you need. This is the stage that takes most of the time, as you cannot spin tree bast as quick as you are spinning finer fibers like flax, hemp or wool, as those fibers are continuously being fed into the string, but here you have to apply each bundle of fibers one by one. I keep track of how much I have spun by tying the string into groups. When I have what I need, I usually finish the string by feeding the ends of the fiber bundles back into the string to reduce waste. When I am done spinning, I finish off the string with a knot and fasten it to a pin. The pin is just a square piece of wood with a slit in the end. A square profile is much less slippery than a round one and gives better grip to the string. Now I will transfer string to the pin. If I would make a 2-ply rope, I would transfer half of the string, but as I am now making a 3-ply rope, I will instead transfer 2/3 of it. The string that we made is single-ply. That is a very unstable construction that will just unwind itself if you would use it. You need to ply it around itself to get something stable and usable. Remember how we tied the string into smaller groups earlier when we spun it? That is handy now to keep track of how much we have transferred. Now when 2/3 are on the pin, the plying begins. I give the string some extra twist so it turns back on itself. The twist of the string will now make it twist around itself, forming a 2-ply row. It may look a bit complicated, but what I am doing here is to twist the pin and the reel at the same rate and in the same direction. This plies the two strands together and makes the other end of the rope to turn in the opposite direction. After each turn, I also give it a tug to make it more even. This is basically how a rope also is made on a rope walk when machinery is used to turn the strands. But there all strands must turn at the same rate. Here I can give one strand a bit more twist to compensate if it is uneven. This is the reason why it actually was illegal in parts of Germany in the Middle Ages to make a linden bast rope on a rope walk because of quality issues. When making a 3-ply rope on a rope walk, you ply all strands at the same time, but here you can see how I start off by making it a 2-ply, and later I will work the 3rd strand into this, making it 3-ply. The loose end of the rope sometimes gets entangled, and if you are making longer ropes, you need to keep better control of it. And I stop every now and then to adjust the twist to make sure the lay is even. After a while you will have plied all the string that was on the reel, and you will have the last third of the string left on the pin. Now you give the string some extra twist to once again turn it back on itself, making the other end of the rope. Now comes the part that is a bit tricky. With my left hand I will open up the 2-plied rope a bit to let in the 3rd strand. I'm now turning the reel in the opposite direction from previously and continue with turning the pin at the same rate. It's extra important now to keep an eye on the result and adjust the twist if you see that it gets uneven. Man has made ropes from tree bast as long as we have made tools, and it was the most common rope in the Nordic countries through the Middle Ages, when it gradually was replaced by hemp. But it was still in use in the beginning of the last century among poor farmers and fishermen, as it was so easy to make. We are nearing the end of the 2-plied rope, and hopefully the string left on the pin will be enough. It's quite irritating if the string on the pin is too short, so I usually transfer a bit more than 2/3 to it to be on the safe side. But you can always add more fibers to it if you have to. Here I'm showing how to use a reel to make the rope, and that was probably invented sometime around the Viking Age or early Middle Ages. Before that it was probably made with even simpler tools, and that I have also made videos about. As we are coming to the end, we finish this end so it looks the same as the other one by pulling the 3rd strand through the end, and it locks it in place so the rope will not unravel. This ending is quite special, as you normally need to make a knot or a whipping to stop the unraveling. I needed a quite thin rope for a handle for a Viking Age bag. But with the same technique one can also make very thick ropes. The exact technique shifts a bit when making thick ropes, but the principle is the same. When I'm coiling it, you can see that the rope's got a very hard lay, and it will need a good stretching to become more flexible. I don't post much here on YouTube, but I post more of my projects on Facebook and Instagram under the same username. Thank you for watching.